Hello, ha. I'm going to read from Don't Stop Me Now, the one with the orange cover and the turtle with the flame on it. I'm going to read about our favorite car, the Lamborghini Gallardo. Because I don't think he does the spider. Whatever. Anyways. Suppose you had a priceless Ming vase, and you wouldn't use it as a dice shaker or a vessel for serving punch at a Boxing Day parties. In a similar vein, you wouldn't use a racehorse to hack out, and you wouldn't use a pearl-handled butter knife to pick a lock. So it's faintly ridiculous to suppose a supercar can coexist in the real world alongside young men from Kazakhstan in Nissan Laurels, and even younger men from Albania on pizza-delivering mopeds. So what is it for then, exactly? Getting down and growly on the world's racetracks? Well, yes, obviously. But even here, things can go awry. Just recently, I attempted to see how fast the new Koenigsegg supercar could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour, but as I let the clutch in, one of the many belts that drives something important in the engine bay shredded, and I was left in a world of noise and smoke going nowhere. Last week, I attempted a similar test with a 320,000-pound Pagani Zonda, and again, it all ended in tears. As I floored the throttle in the 7.3-liter Mercedes V12 engine, girded in considerable loins for an assault on the horizon, the clutch shouted, "For God's sake!" and exploded. There was a lot of smoke, hence the tears. Lamborghinis are especially good at this. Once, to amuse the crowds at Goodwood, I decided to do a massive wheel-spinning start off the line. But this was a Diablo with a 4-wheel drive system, and the tires bigger than the rings of Saturn. So the only thing I could possibly spin was a clutch. It did. And I had to drive up the hill with the V12 tearing its heart out, only doing 4 or 5 miles per hour. It's always been like this. I once drove the world's first supercar, a Lamborghini Miura. But I cannot tell you how fast it went since it oiled its plugs at every set of lights installed. And there wasn't enough juice in the battery to get it going again. A friend that recently described his own Bentley, James, as being like a middle-aged man oohing and awing its way through life because bits of it worked perfectly well yesterday, and had suddenly decided to give up the ghost today. Supercars, on the other hand, are like athletes, forever suffering from hamstring injuries and groin strains. You suffer from groin strains. No, really, my wife goes to the gym every morning, and as a result is permanently broken in some way. The bathroom cabinet looks like Harry Potter's potion store, whereas I, whose only exercise is blinking, and am never ill at all. So, if you can't go quickly in a supercar, and you can't use it for everyday chores like shopping and taking the children to school, what can you do with it? Go out for dinner? Oh, please. He wrote it like that. Where are you going to leave it? In the street? In a multi-story car park? And what shape do you suppose it will have after you've finished your Irish coffee and mints? I once parked my old Ferrari outside a restaurant with the roof off. It didn't seem like a problem since I was in the Cotswold village of Deddington, where the crime statistics talk of something scrumping in 1947. And that's it. But when I come back, the interior had been used for what I could only assume was a world championship gauzing competition. I've never seen so much phlegm. Sure, you can take such a car to a friend's house for a party, but then how are you going to get home? Driving a bright yellow Lamborghini at 2 in the morning is as obvious as weaving down the street with a traffic cone on your head. Of course, one day you'll be in your supercar on a wonderful, sweeping mountain road, and suddenly all will become clear. But not for long, because pretty soon you'll round a corner to find a party of ramblers or cyclists, or maybe both. Do you think they're going to, A, point appreciatively at your car, or B, shout obscenities? And later, when you've broken down or smashed into the low-riding front end clean off in a dip of a road, do they think they'll A, stop to help, or B, laugh at you until they need hospital treatment? Buy a supercar and your neighbors won't like you. Oh, won't like the noise. Your wife won't be able to climb aboard in short skirts. Your friends will be jealous, and other road users will make signals. It's hard to think of any group or body that likes a man in a supercar. Small boys, perhaps. But is that what you want? Probably not, I suspect. None of this, of course, stops us from wanting supercars. So, I was therefore intrigued by the new Lamborghini Gallardo. Unlike all previous Lambos, there is no rear wing big enough to land helicopters on, and no air vents that slide out of the side when the going gets hot. Yes, it looks sporty, but it's not like rocking up for work in a gold lame jacket and tartan trousers. In a dark color, you might even call it discreet. Inside, there's been another break from Lamborghini tradition. I fit! And the air conditioning works. And you can see out of the back window. And there's a stereo that you can hear. Oh, the engine makes noise alright, but it doesn't prompt the sort of purple prose I normally use for cars of this type. There's no spine-tingling howl. It doesn't sound like Brian Blessed on the verge of an orgasm. Or Tom Jones making man love for the first time. There's a very good reason for all this. Italian politicians may think their German counterparts are humorless, strutting Nazis, and the Germans may have responded by taking their towels off the beaches of Tuscany this year. But all is well between the two nations in the world of car making, because Lamborghini has been bought by Audi, itself a part of the Volkswagen group, who have brought a dollop of common sense to the most lovably idiotic car maker on the earth. As a result, the engine is an Audi V8 unit with 2 extra cylinders welded on the ends to create a 5-liter V10. It drives all 4 wheels via a 6-speed gearbox, but you don't need to be a man mom to control everything. The clutch is light, the steering wheel moves easily, and you can change gear with one hand. Normally I have to get my super fit wife to drive the Lamborghini that we have on test. But even I, with arms like a pipe cleaner's, can manage a Gallardo. I liked it too, hugely. I liked it even more than the Ferrari 360 because it's better balanced and easier to control at the limit. It changes direction like a fly, grips like a barnacle, and goes like a jet fighter on a combat power. At one point I saw 175 miles per hour on the clock, and there was plenty more where that came from. It's a technological tour de force. A generally very good car, even if it is trifle pricey at £115,000. But it left me feeling underwhelmed. There was no sense of occasion. Like when I first stepped into a Ferrari 355, or Diablo, or a Zonda even. This is important because supercars appeal to the small boy in us all. We may hate the bastards who have them, and we may know they make no sense at all, but that doesn't stop us wanting one. And there's the thing. I don't particularly want a Gallardo. As I stepped out of it after a 2-day stint, there was no pulsating desire to get back in again and keep going. Although this may have something to do with the fact that after 300 minutes on the test track, the clutch was a thin veneer of dust on the main straight. Then we are then. The message remains the same. If you want to go really, really fast, buy a plane ticket. I love you!